How would I describe Silksong fans, you ask? Dangerous. Borderline psychopaths. And to that I say yes, we embrace it. With potentially just 2 weeks remaining till we get the Silksong release date, a very common question I get asked is, Primacon, other than being funny, handsome, charming, and the biggest YouTuber in the world, not a big deal, by the way, what else are you looking for when Silksong does get released? I mean, I'm gonna make Let's Plays on it and content on it, and other video games as well, but is there any other video game, especially of the indie variety, that captures my heart like Silksong has when it comes to coping for it? So far, the answer has always been not really. Until last month. To be honest, guys, I've been meaning to make a video about this game for over a month now. I just haven't gotten around to it. But now is the perfect time. There's only a handful of indie games that have managed to climb up and capture the hearts of millions of people in a way that rivals big budget AAA video games. I'm talking Hollow Knight, Celeste, Stardew Valley, Ultra Kill, to name just a few. These games are on a league of their own, and one of those games I just mentioned, Celeste, had a pretty recent disaster that left a lot of fans wanting more. I am of course talking about the tragedy of this game right here called Earthblade. That was a second game in development by the creators of Celeste that got cancelled. Left a pretty big wound in a lot of people's heart. Now put a pin in that thought while I talk a little bit about Stardew Valley. Ever since Minecraft left the indie genre, Stardew Valley is pretty much the Minecraft of indie games at this point. 3/4 to 1 million reviews on Steam alone. Stardew Valley is one of, if not the biggest indie games out there. The appeal of life sim and farming games like this is obviously huge, and I'm a big fan. And yes, I'm very highly anticipating the next game by Concerned Ape, Haunted Chocolatier, but combining these two discussions actually gives birth to a really cool love child, a Lovecraftian child, in the form of a game called Neverway. This is a game that got announced at AAA Initiative in April, and from what you can see on the screen right now, the best description of this game is the artistry of Celeste combined with the life sim simulator kind of gameplay of Stardew Valley with a Lovecraftian horror element attached to it. I am a big sucker for horror. It is probably my favorite genre of anything out there. You see the pattern here? This is something so different from a Metroidvania style game that is Silksong, and so perfectly combining every other element of video game genres and media that I like, that naturally it falls next in line to my most anticipated video game after Hollow Knight Silksong comes out. To give a little example of how big this game already is, it already has 140,000 wishlists on Steam in just 5 days. And don't forget, for games like this, console is actually a bigger market than Steam is. This video game has the potential to join those big league video games that I just talked about at the start of the video and establish itself as one of the greatest of all times. Now, if editor Primacon does his job right and you've been seeing the gameplay on screen as I yap, we can also take a look at the Steam page a little bit. It's a blend of horror, life sim, and action RPG. After Flora quits her job, she starts over on a farm and becomes the immortal herald of a dead god. Keep your life from falling apart while searching for Neverway, a nightmare reality that is slowly leaking into yours. Funny enough, this also reminds me a little bit of One Shot, which is also one of my favorite indie games of all time. It has emphasis on making friends, emphasis on fighting and combat, rebuilding your life however you choose fit. And here's what's crazy. The visual artist of this game is the pixel artist from Celeste. The guy who's making the soundtrack of this game is the guy who made the soundtrack for Hyper Light Drifter, which has one of the best soundtracks ever. The combinations of these genres and features is just fantastic. And once Deltarune launches in about 2 weeks and Silksong launches hopefully within a month and a half, and games like Haunted Chocolatier still like ages out, to me, Neverway is the most natural successor to the hype and cope that was Silksong. Are there any games that you feel that hit the mark for you? Any indie game specifically that you think is gonna replace Silksong for you for your next favorable cope train? Please let me know in the comments. Let's get a discussion going. If you enjoyed the video, do hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Thank you for listening to me yap, and I'll see you soon with a new video. Primacon signing out.